Jacksonville is a Navy town. We have the sub base up at Kings Bay, which impacts Nassau County in a big way. We have Mayport Naval Station, which is out at the mouth of the St. Johns River, and we have Naval Air Station Jacksonville, in addition to the Marine Cargo Loading Terminal on Blunt Island and an Air National Guard base at Jacksonville International Airport. All of those waterfront facilities, all four of those Navy facilities, will be impacted by sea level rise. And frankly, if we don't do something to provide leadership in reducing the causes of sea level rise, it's going to be harder and harder to defend those bases from being declared obsolete by the Base Realignment Commission in the next BRAC process that is going to be coming, because there is a lot of pressure to reduce federal spending, especially in the Department of Defense. If we want to protect our investment in the Navy, if we want to even have a chance of bringing a carrier to Mayport to replace the Kennedy, a nuclear carrier, you got to show the Navy that we're serious. We're very serious about protecting Mayport from being adversely impacted by rapidly rising sea levels. And it's predicted that Mayport, 25% of Mayport could be underwater in 15, 20, 30 years if things do not change on a global scale. We have to think globally, we have to act locally, and we have to lead by example. And if we do that, we can create jobs right here, not only making our own community more resilient and more productive, but also learning how to export these solutions to our natural trading partners in the Caribbean, Central and South America, and in Africa. Because these people, especially in Africa, they need our help. And frankly, our competitors in China have already recognized this, and they're investing heavily in Africa to both get resources, but to also create markets for products that are made in China. So if we really want to be competitive, we have to be progressive in our approach to these very obvious to me solutions to what is some people think is a complicated problem. I think it's a pretty simple problem. You look at the facts, you analyze the facts on the basis of science, using scientific techniques, and then you make your investment decisions. You don't do it based on ideology, you do it based on facts and logical analysis of those facts. The House of Representatives passed a resolution that forbid the Pentagon from spending any money to respond to the scientific findings of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change, to implement the Clean Power Plan and the Climate Action Plan that President Obama proposed. The basis for this opposition had nothing to do with economics or technology. It was all ideological. It was all politics. It was basically protecting the status quo from any type of competition.
To be threatened.
If sea level rises 2 feet, we lose Mayport. It's that simple. We also lose Norfolk in Virginia, and we could lose a big part of sub-base Kings Bay. A 2-foot rise in sea level would be devastating to this community. And that is possible within the next 30 to 50 years. I mean, we just passed, at the urging of the mayor, a sales tax that doesn't go into effect for 14 years to solve a long-term problem that the mayor said, if we don't do it this way, it's going to bankrupt the city. Well, how can you look that far ahead on a simple issue like a half-cent sales tax to fund the pension that was grossly mismanaged in the first place? How can you use long-term thinking and long-term planning to address that problem, and my judgment, kicking the can down the road, and ignore the fact that we do have rising seas? We have pretty solid scientific evidence that there's a cause-effect relationship that has to do with the amount of pollution that we produce as a community, as a state, as a nation, as an entire global economy, and not do anything about it, and stick your head in the sand and just make believe it doesn't exist. Unfortunately, that's kind of it's the borrow and spend mentality. It's the kick the can down the road mentality that I'm seeing from the leadership of the Republican Party in the House of Representatives.